Welcome back to Footstock 101 by myself Lethal in association with Footstockhub. Today we're going to continue to look into the virtuals. In the previous episode we took a look at what virtual tournaments are within Footstock, how they sort of work at quite a granular level, but today we're going to be looking at the stats provided on the Footstockhub website in partnership with Footstock Stats and how you can use them to construct some really competitive teams for virtual tournaments in the future. Before we get started, remember that Footstock is a gambling website, therefore you need to be 18 plus and from the UK to play. If you haven't already signed up, be sure to do so with the link in the description below. And with that being said, let's get into the content in today's video. Today we've got the Spring Virtuals number 2. So these are the games that are going to be taking place. So we've got Brighton Leeds, Newcastle Everton, Southampton Crystal Palace, West Brom Aston Villa and Fulham against Tottenham Hotspur. Before or during constructing a team for these virtuals, you need to be using stats available to you, and like I mentioned at the end of the previous episode, Footstockhub has got you covered. So on the Footstockhub website we've got the Footstock Stats tab at the top here, and yeah, there's a contents table with lots of different sheets that you can look into for various things. It even goes down just to sort of scouting players that are good on the platform, potentially even for trading, and just having a really good look at various different stats. But of course in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the virtual match report, so clicking that button takes us down to it. We can click into this and take me to the sheet, but will take you to a Google Sheets that will show you all the match reports. At the moment, because we've got so many virtuals scheduled up throughout the week, there are different tabs at the bottom here, so we need to be going to number 2, Spring Virtuals, and this will give us the different games that we just had a look at. So to begin with here, we've got Brighton against Leeds. So you get a report for each match. As you scroll down, you've got the rest of them that are just here as well, but we'll take a look at the example one here of Brighton Leeds. First of all, you're going to be faced with different team stats. So as a team, Brighton against Leeds. First of all, we've got the PPG total. That is simply the PPG average of each of the starting 11 put together. And as you can see, Leeds come out on top, and in terms of a ratio, it gives Leeds a sort of almost 57% advantage over Brighton in that respect. You've then got team goals, also something you need to consider because a team may have very good base scoring players, but in terms of a team scoring a certain amount of goals per game on average, we can see that Leeds have got quite a high average here of 1.33 goals per game, whereas Brighton is a lot lower, down at 0.76. You've then got assists to take into account as well. Team bookings. Bookings, of course, are something you want to avoid if possible, or certainly take into account, as they have a negative effect on a player's score. You've then got saves as well. This is very important when you are looking into sort of the defensive side of a team and also selecting a goalkeeper. As you move down, we now move into the more individual based stats. So we start off with the goal percentage. There's lots of things that go into the formula to produce these percentages. You don't need to know in-depth stuff behind that because Footstockhub and Stats have got you covered with these sheets as the free content on the site, so be sure to make the most of these. So for today's game of Brighton against Leeds, we can see if Brighton were to score a goal, any individual single goal, Neil Maupay has got a 34% chance of scoring that goal, followed by Trossard. Lewis Dunk as a defender is one to probably watch out for. 17% chance of scoring as a defender is very enticing. And it goes down and shows you the top 6 in regards to goals, top 6 in regards to assists. If we go over to the other side here, we've got Bamford with a 36% chance of scoring. You've also got the star ratings down the side here as well, to of course take into account. Similar goes for assists. Obviously the same thing applies in terms of how we produce these percentages. Underneath that we've got goals and assists combined. With this, obviously it takes the 2 stats into account, and assists basically count as half of a goal based on the score that you get for a goal and an assist. So as it shows here, but weighed accordingly, i.e. assists are worth half a goal. If you want to get some stats very quickly and don't want to spend too long interrogating these stats, this is potentially the most important one to look at. It gives you a very quick look at the players that have got the best chance of getting goal contributions and therefore good scores in the virtuals. Bamford is quite considerably up there for Leeds. On the other side, you've got Morpay and Trossard looking very good options. As we move down, we look at the idea of bookings and yellow cards again. It's not something that makes or breaks a player by any means, but it's something to consider, of course. Finally, down here, we've got what is probably the joint most important thing to look at, as well as this section here, and it's the base scores. This is effectively excluding goals, assists, win, clean sheet, all those type of points that a player accumulates is sort of on average what they're going to pick up. Now, it's quite important to have good base scores, because relying on a player like Bamford, for example, that's got a very high chance of getting a goal contribution. If he doesn't get a goal contribution, he's going to leave you with a very, very low score. So it's sort of high risk, high reward to a certain extent there. And having a Bamford in there without a goal contribution could sort of ruin a team to a certain extent. So it's always nice to consider, and if possible, have good base scores along with those high chances. So for me, Rafinha really stands out. Almost 21% chance of a goal contribution, but also an incredibly high base score of nearly 10. To a lot of you guys, that might seem a lot to take in, but realistically, it's somewhere you need to be going. Have a little browse. It's fairly self-explanatory to a certain extent, but I really do recommend having a look at this. Don't be entering teams blind without having a look at these stats. They're free to you guys at the moment on the Footstockhub website. And yeah, of course, you don't want to be entering players with very low base scores and or with no physical chance of scoring or assisting. So that's going to be it for this video. So hopefully that does help you. Let us know in the Footstockhub members Discord and comment on this video even if this is helpful to you and it gets you some good placements in the virtual tournaments. And with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Footstock 101.